You're listening to the Smart Nonprofit Masterclass with me, Jose Gomez, founder and CEO of nonprofitwebsites.com and Net Ministry. If you're a leader in a nonprofit organization who wants to reach more donors, volunteers, members, supporters, and the community that you're serving using the power of the internet, then I'm already waiting for you in today's episode. So let's get started. Hey everybody, this is Jose Gomez with another Smart Nonprofit Masterclass, and today's topic is going to be about writing your nonprofit vision. Now, there's a lot of seminars, workshops, information out there that pertains to writing your vision, to having vision, to the importance of vision. I want to take a few moments to define or relate why I thought this was a great topic to cover today. I know a lot of nonprofits. As a matter of fact, we work with over 60,000 of them. And in my experience, one of the things that I've seen that happens over and over and over again is you see organizations that don't quite have a firm grasp as to what the larger long-term marathon level vision is. It's really always about the next event or the very next initiative or needing to raise the next $10,000. And what you miss out on is really a greater piece, a greater understanding of what your nonprofit could really accomplish. And so today what I want to do is I want to take a few moments to address this. Now, you know that you're in a nonprofit that lacks a vision, a long-term, again, marathon level vision, if your organization is constantly flying by the seat of its pants. There doesn't seem to be a lot of long-term planning, doing quarterly, half a year to year goals are very difficult. Really, it's a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month type of effort. There's no clear understanding as to exactly where you're going to go. And hopefully today what we can do is we can help stop that cycle and actually get you into the next phase of really being a successful nonprofit organization. We're going to talk about how to communicate or the purpose of communicating the vision, how to see the vision, how to write the vision, and ultimately how to communicate it to others. So let's talk a little bit about the purpose of communicating vision. A lot of times what I see is that folks come up with a vision that they can talk to others about and get them excited in order to do something. They're trying to get a staff or a team or a group of volunteers to buy into something. It's a sales pitch. It's the motivational speech. It's the warrior captain speech right before in front of the troops right before they swarm down on the enemy. That's the way that they see vision, and vision is so much more than that. It's much bigger than that. It's actually the purpose of vision is not to guide necessarily the subordinates, the people doing the volunteer work and your staff, more than it is to really guide you as a leader and a leadership team. The vision is the overarching, long-term, the big goal, the thing that is far off in the distance. The vision is something that you communicate when under the best of conditions or everything going right. The vision is a dream of what the world looks like when your organization accomplishes its mission. It's not just a thing you say to get people excited. If that's the only reason you're creating vision, then that doesn't make it inspiring at all. It's very disingenuous. You want to be able to live a vision because you've seen it. You want to be able to communicate something because it's what guides you. It's what motivates you. And so the purpose of communicating vision is not so much to motivate others. It's to motivate yourself and your leadership team, which then in turn motivates others. Does a vision need to be communicated to your staff? Absolutely, but only after it becomes your guiding, it becomes your carrot, your guiding principle. It becomes your guiding light the light at the end of the tunnel, the world made different after you've succeeded. And that allows your staff, your teams, your volunteers to align behind you to get the job done. Now notice I said they align behind you, not in front of you, not while you're on the sideline sitting down. They align behind you as you plow forward as the first one in line to get the job done. Now, that's really important to note. There's a lot of nonprofit leaders who are very absentee. They're really doing other things while the staff is really trying to kind of run around getting things done. And then they kind of walk in, swoop in, create a big mess for the staff, and then walk back out. You've got to be the tip of the spear. Doesn't mean that you have to do the most menial tasks, because that's why you have staff and that's why you have volunteers to do all the intricate details of your nonprofit. But you need to be the one leading the charge, leading the vision, living towards the vision, and always looking forward to seeing it accomplished. And hopefully that makes sense. Now, I think I've gotten that point across. So let's talk about how to see vision. I think a lot of times when we sit down and we create nonprofit organizations, we might see the problem, we might see maybe a solution to solving it, but seeing a long-term vision and seeing what the world looks like if we had our way isn't something that we necessarily sit down to do all the time. There are some people that are driven by this vision. They close their eyes and they can see the world change. They can see all the children of the world fed. They can see the homeless in their community at work and no one in the streets. They can see that. That's what drives them and that's what wakes them up in the morning. But for many people, they don't quite have that sense of vision. So let's talk about how you can really develop that. One of the things that you have to realize is that in order to have a vision, you have to first envision it. You have to be able to see it. You have to conceive something before it can be birthed. And so you and your team have to take some time together to just dream. And, as I would say, just talk foolishness as if there was no rules, no obstacles. What would the world look like? You have to start at the end, from the beginning. You have to know that end. You have to know where you're going in order to develop a plan to get there. And the vision is where you're going. The vision is that either end of the journey or it's the first checkpoint or the first milestone. And then there's a new vision after that. But at any point, your vision has to be something that you can see. You have to first see yourself basking in the fulfillment of having achieved it and thinking back at everything you had to do along the way to get to actually realize it. And it does take a dreamer to see this dream. It takes a conscious effort to avoid negativity and talk that'll compromise the vision by conforming it to what's achievable. You don't want to make your vision necessarily super achievable or easily achievable. The easily achievable visions are really just goals. Those are things that you're going to accomplish along the way to the vision. But that vision should really be so big that you really got to work to really accomplish it. Objectives that are achievable are called goals, not visions. And visions are inconsiderate of the constraints that goals live under. Where goals demand structure and rules, visions toss those out the window and choose to be free, running around in the daisy fields of your mind. I mean, they are just wild. Visions are bigger, much bigger than your goals and your milestones. Now let's talk a little bit about how to write that vision down. This is where a lot of folks have some trouble. After they see the vision, maybe you're that person who just wakes up in the morning and you're driven by this vision. You've been thinking about it for years. You've been seeing the end from the beginning, way longer than anybody even heard the name of your nonprofit. But now it's actually time to write it down. And what I recommend you do is just sit down and write what I call the vision narrative, which is really your explanation in as much detail as you want and as long as you want of what the vision is. Just describe it, talk about it, sit down and describe the world. You can do it in paragraph format. You can just do bullet points. In whatever way works for you, but write it fully down. I mean, everything you can think of. If you see children that aren't hungry anymore, then talk about what they're doing. What's their life like? What are their parents? What's the life of their parents like? If your nonprofit is about taking the homeless off the streets, then talk about what you see, how you see your community responding, and where you see those homeless people next. If your program is to provide education to underprivileged children, and talk about how they're educated and what their lives are like as a result of it, and how the community is enriched, and what it really, really looks like at the end. Once you've written that fully down, now it's time to pare it down and find just extract the most critical elements of that narrative. So, read your narrative out loud a few times. Walk around the room, just kind of read it out loud to yourself. What's the heart of the narrative? How could you summarize it? Underline the important words or phrases that you feel need to be included in what you would consider a summary of this vision. And then work to get it down to one sentence. I know this is the really, really hard part, and this usually requires maybe a team of people that can sit around and discuss that vision, really debate about it, and find some way of paring things down so you can get it down to really easy to remember statement. That becomes your vision statement, and it's extremely important to the forward movement of your organization. So take time to really tighten it up. It's the thing you're going to be saying over and over and over again, and hopefully so will your staff and volunteers and everybody that's associated with your organization. Now, one of the things I did, if you go to nonprofitwebsites.com and you jump over to the blog, there's actually an article there that corresponds with this particular blog called Writing Your Nonprofit Vision. And I've given you a bunch of examples of some of the most successful nonprofits in the world. There's about 30 different examples of their statements. So, for example, Oxfam, their end statement, their vision statement is a just world without poverty. Feeding America says that their statement is a hunger-free America. The Human Rights Campaign says equality for everyone is their vision statement. Those were number 1, 2, and 3. I'll just jump down to, let's say, number 17, the Cleveland Clinic, striving to be the world's leader in patient experience, clinical outcomes, research, and education. If we look at Goodwill, we know Goodwill, every person has the opportunity to achieve her fullest potential and participate and contribute to all aspects of life. That's their vision statement. So these are statements that these organizations have come up with. The Clinton Foundation to implement sustainable programs that improve access worldwide to investment, opportunity, and life-saving services now and for future generations. Very, very thorough, but it has obviously encompassed a larger vision. And so that's what you want to do. You want to take some time to, after creating your vision narrative, which is the kind of no holds barred, as long as you want explanation, finding the key phrases and key ideas of that narrative and bringing it down to a full vision statement. The last part I want to talk about is communicating your vision. Once you've created a vision statement that you're really happy with, you're going to feel great about yourself, and you should probably, put it down, let it rest for a few days, come back to it, maybe even revise it a little bit. But once you're ready with your vision statement, you're going to want to tell everyone, and your vision is going to come to life, and we're going to dream out loud now to people. You might even have team members who help you construct the vision, and they can take that vision with them as well. But once your meetings and retreats and brainstorming sessions are done, remember that the rest of us will have no idea what happened during those meetings. What led you to creating the vision? What realities of the problem are you looking to solve? So you got to make sure that as you communicate your vision, you give us your vision statement. Be sure then to expand it back out when you're explaining it into the vision narrative. That's where that narrative is going to help you. It's going to help you to kind of talk about what it is that you saw in your mind's eye when you were writing that vision statement. What do you see the world being like as a result of the good work that your nonprofit is going to do? So be ready to tell the story, communicate the problems that you're solving, communicate the process that you're advocating, and the goals your mission seeks to accomplish. All those pieces are part of the vision. They're part of accomplishing that vision. Talk about your overall mission, and then dream ahead 10 years. What would you like to see? How would you like to see the world changed? So, this is a really critical piece, that I wanted to address, because there are a number of people that have actually, actually communicated and reached out to me through our online groups, and clients of mine that have had trouble creating vision, or have had internal problems that we've identified as a lack of vision within their organization. Sometimes leadership has a wonderful vision. They have a very clear vision, but they're lousy at communicating it to their staff and their volunteers and the supporters. So it's really important you kind of grab this concept, all the pieces of it, everything from envisioning to creating it to communicating it, because it's so important as a nonprofit. A nonprofit is driven exclusively by a vision of a better future. It's driven exclusively by a vision of something accomplished that makes the world a better place, and that vision is really critical to catching the eyes of donors, of supporters, of sponsors, of partners, of strategic alliances, and even of the people that you're actually serving. A clear vision statement will make it very clear what you're trying to accomplish and instill trust and a great reputation in the world. So really important stuff. Vision's a thing we see in our minds and hearts that doesn't yet exist. It's a wonderful dream, a beautiful outcome, a glorious scenario. Create a vision worth communicating, one that truly paints a picture of a better world. That's what donors, volunteers, and sponsors and partners want to be a part of, guys. And they find the most unreasonable and unlikely goal, then dial it back half a notch, and that's your vision. All right. So take a few moments, sit down, write the vision narrative, and spend no more than 15 minutes writing those initial thoughts and feelings at first. Let it sit for a day, come back to it tomorrow, expand on it, creating the vision statement that you'll share with others. I hope today's been really helpful to you. I want to take a few moments just to encourage you to go over to nonprofitwebsites.com. We've got more blogs like this, episodes like this. You can gain access to them by just going to the blog area. We've got some written information as well as the audio episodes. I also want to encourage you and invite you. Here is something really great. I want to invite you to come out completely free. It's a Facebook group. It's an invite-only Facebook group that we have. You have to be a nonprofit leader, an executive director, or part of a leadership team to be a part of it. But come over to Facebook, and you want to go to facebook.com/groups/nonprofit insiders. And this is a Facebook group where for free you can just come in, just ask to be added, and you can just share some time with other nonprofit leaders, sharing best practices, discussing issues that you might have, and seeking advice. I'm also in there on a daily basis, and just issuing challenges, distributing some free content for you to just push you along and help. Nobody tries to sell anything in this particular forum. It's just about giving back, giving to you, giving value to you. And that's really the goal. That's my goal with these podcasts, is to bring value to your organization, to let you know that somebody's here, somebody's watching, somebody's looking and learning from other nonprofits, and bringing you the intel that you need to succeed as an organization. So jump over to Facebook. The group name is Nonprofit Leader Insiders if you want to search for it, or you can go to www.facebook.com/groups/nonprofit insiders. And again, our website is nonprofitwebsites.com. If you need help getting to any of the stuff, just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's some links to the group, to our resources, to this podcast, and anything else that's important. Listen, thank you so much today for listening to the podcast. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's episode of the Smart Nonprofit Masterclass. It's been a great episode, and I hope that it challenged you in some way and provided you with some tools to build, advance, and market your nonprofit. But before you go on your day, I want to tell you about a free resource. Are you the nonprofit leader who wants to raise money for your cause, get the message out, inspire and engage your board, increase the influence of your organization? Maybe you want to attract talented staff and volunteers, or keep your supporters better informed about your wins. Maybe you even want to just establish a great reputation in your service area and in your industry. but you find that you lack the funding you need, you don't really know where to go next. Maybe you're even scared of running out of money and resources before your mission's successful. Well, we completely understand your fight and how important your mission is to this world. We've worked with over 60,000 nonprofits around the world for the last 15 years, learning about how to build, advance, and market their organizations using the internet. We have a proven success formula that we've put together, and it helps organizations accomplish their mission, get more funding, find the right donors and volunteers, and ultimately get their message out around the world about what they're doing. So they don't have to shut down, suffer from insufficient funding, attract unreliable people, or ultimately fail their mission. We've got a free checklist for each phase of our formula, which we lovingly call BAM, and they're available right now at nonprofitwebsites.com. So go download what thousands of other nonprofits have already started using to become the organization that they've always really strived to be. And it's 100% free, so you can't lose. Anyway, thank you for listening and have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time.